Good evening and welcome to another episode of the Power Half Hour Unstoppable Business Owner. Just want to do a little bit of housekeeping here. We do have our amazing Camaraderie Rescue Mission Summer of Fun raffle. For those of you that are in the Winter Haven, Florida area, the main prize is for you. You get a 6-month Freedom Boat Club membership valued at over $7,500. But don't worry, if you're not in Winter Haven, Florida, you still get a chance to get your name in. They have 350 locations to best serve you, and you can use it up to 4 times at any of those locations. Plus, you get your Camaraderie Rescue Mission t-shirt. All proceeds go to our amazing programs to help our veterans with their PTSD, and suicidal tendencies, and just really getting back to nature and getting the hope back into their lives. Also, we have Jen Sahari with Strong Foundations Coaching and Consulting. With over 25 years of leading, mentoring, training, and coaching, Jen provides individuals and businesses personalized support to get your life aligned with your best life. For more information, go to www.jensahari.com and book your free 30-minute consultation today. As well as Jen's book, Created, No Way Out. It is definitely a book you want to get your hands on. I read it in less than a day. It was amazing. It's filled with emotion, unique insights on mental health, and an ending you don't want to miss. With that, I am going to bring up our amazing guest, Kim Romain. Kim, thanks to the show. Thanks for joining us tonight. How are you?
I'm good. Thanks so much for having me here.
I don't know why I'm so tongue-tied all of a sudden. We were great. Then all of a sudden now I'm tongue-tied.
It happens. Give me 5 minutes. I'll be there with you.
And that's the power of life. That's what we were talking about.
Yeah.
Life is all about being live and being in the moment. And that's what we are, because we are just two amazing women just in the moment. So
That's right.
Welcome to the show.
Thank you so much for having me.
Oh, my pleasure. And so tell our amazing viewing audience just who you are and what it is that you do.
Yeah, sure. So I'm Kim Romain, and I am a social impact coach and business strategist. Really, what I do is I help individuals and organizations do good work in the world. This morning, I actually, in my meditation and journaling practice, came up with the term of creating abundant good abundantly. So I really have this passion for not only doing good work in the world and creating social justice, social change, and social impact, but doing so from a place of abundance and not from lack and scarcity, which so many people enter that arena from a place of lack and scarcity. So that's high level what I do.
I love that. Today, you are the second person to talk to me today about abundance. The second person. The first one was I know, right? And the first one was a 40-year veteran. Like he was in the army, and to now you. So I mean, my stars are aligning.
Absolutely. That goes with what we were talking about pre-show, right?
Exactly. Pre-show.
Oprah, when you're listening, you're here. We have a space for you.
Yes. Right here. and yes, do epic shit, because Kim has an amazing new sign that I was so excited about. See, do epic shit. I love it. I love it. I'm going to have to get something like that for my office. I really need to tweak this office, but enough about me and about this bland office. We're here for you.
We're here for a conversation.
We're here for a conversation, an amazing time, and have fun, because, I don't know about you, but if I can't bring fun into what we're doing, then I don't want to do it.
Absolutely. And the world is so heavy in so many ways. I had been saying the world is so heavy right now. The world has been heavy for a while, for a long time. You can say however many years you want, however millennia. The world is heavy, and bringing some joy and some pleasure and some fun is actually absolutely acceptable, because the world will continue to be heavy, and we can find love and joy and abundance amidst the heaviness.
Exactly. Exactly. I totally agree with you. So I just love everything that you do. And so you do everything from profit to nonprofit. Is that correct?
Mm-hmm. That's correct. Yeah.
And so when somebody says bringing social justice and social impact in to the workplace. What does that really mean? Because I hear it all the time, but I'm like, I'm really not sure I get the concept of that.
Yeah. So it means a lot of things to a lot of different people. And the definitions, it was funny because I was actually last week, I was looking at, how are people defining social impact, social change, social justice, social entrepreneurship, right? There's all this focus on it. The important thing is that first word being social, and social really meaning for the common good, right? Whether it's environmental, whether it is for social justice or social change in terms of individuals and humanity, or the environment. It is creating something for the common good. And that's the focus of the business. There are a lot of different ways that you can have an entity that creates social justice, social change, social impact. You pick your term, right? It can be for-profit, it can be nonprofit, it can be charitable, it can just be beneficial, right? So there's B Corp certification, which is not a legal entity, but you can be certified as a B Corp. There's hybrid, there's a gazillion different ways that you can bring about social change, but the focus again is on creating some sort of common, some sort of good for the common purpose, right?
Oh, I get it. So taking the common good for the business, the common good for the people, and bringing humanity into what you're doing.
Absolutely.
In my words.
Yes, okay. Absolutely. Yeah.
Got it. Now I get it.
That's my definition. Because again, there's all sorts of like, it has to meet this standard or this standard. The way I approach it is, what is the bottom, like, why are you doing what you're doing? Right. And I get a lot of, whether it's working with individuals or organizations, again, it's the why. What is the why behind it? If the why touches creating common good, creating change in the world, making the world a better place, that you, again, can put in whatever phrase you want there, that's where I am touching the world, again, from for-profit through nonprofit. So it doesn't really matter what the structure is. It's, let's work with creating good in the world.
Right. I love that. Could you imagine a world where every single place of employment was doing good?
I can. I imagine it a lot, as a matter of fact. Yeah.
That's got to go on my dream board.
It's a pretty amazing thing, because it moves beyond all of the differences that we have as humans, right? There's a lot of differences that we have. And it goes to, where is the commonality? Right? What are the common things? What are the basic needs? Maybe bring in Maslow and look at the, hierarchy of needs. What are those needs that we need as humans? What are the needs that the earth needs, and our greater environment? And let's work towards that.
Right. Love it. Yes. Love that. Love that. Now, is your buy-in, okay, because with most companies, if the top isn't buying in, you're not going to get anything accomplished. So that's been my experience. Would you say that's been your experience as well?
Yeah, for sure. And it's not even so they may be bought in on it, on the theoretically, but the buy-in really has to be more than lip service. It can't be, right? We went through this whole period in 2020 about everybody slapping a DEI, a belonging statement on their website, and then not doing anything internally, right? They didn't move any policy forward within their organization, because that too is social impact, right? You're impacting your employees by giving them the freedom to feel safe and empowered at work.
Right.
So there's a lot of lip service without and that is that deeper buy-in. It really needs to come from leadership. The idea doesn't need to come from leadership, but leadership needs to be able to absolutely move it forward. Right. And again, nonprofit, for-profit, whoever that is.
Absolutely. And I love that, because I know of so many businesses that it's lip service. And then when it gets down to the bottom line, like, oh, yes, we have this equity and inclusion policy, or we don't have it. And, but we treat our employees well. Well, ask your employees.
Yeah, big deal to ask your employees. It very often, what happens is they've created a policy, they have a manual, whatever, they do a training twice a year, and then they're like, we're doing this. Like, well, no. Right? Yeah. If your stance is on environmentalism and you don't have, recycling program within your business, might not be living up to what you're saying.
Yeah, I'm laughing because I used to work at a place like that where, oh yeah, we recycle. There's not one recycling bin in there.
Or there's just one. It's like one in the main office, right? Or behind the receptionist desk, and the
Yeah.
only thing they're recycling is paper.
Or the janitor, better yet, the janitor picks it up and dumps it in the regular trash and then takes the trash out and away she goes.
Yeah. Municipality that I used to live in the States, I would see the actual trash collectors doing that. The city was out there saying, we have this amazing recycling program, and you would see the trash companies collecting and putting everything into one bin. And then there was all this information about, how they separate it later. And it's like, no, you don't. That's bullshit. Please stop it.
Exactly. We're calling you on your bullshit, people.
Yeah. Yeah.
If you're a business owner and you are not doing what your policies say, we call bullshit. And
That's
thank you so much, Salman, for joining us. Yeah. And in this world, like, I'm going through this phase with boundaries and really saying what I feel instead of just sugarcoating it and people pleasing, because I've done that for 40 some odd years and it hasn't got me a whole lot of places except frustrated. So I'm trying on this new thing where I'm not making the person wrong for it, but I'm going to call you out on your shit. So I'm now calling out these people on their shit and, with love, saying, okay, you're saying one thing, but you're doing another. So let's bring the two, let's bridge the gap. And that's what you do. You bridge the gap between the bullshit and the real thing. And I love that.
I'm putting that on my business card. I bridge the gap between bullshit and the real thing.
Love it. I'm glad I could give you that idea.
That's so awesome. Yeah, because it's true. Because I am a kind of a quiet rabble rouser in that if you get me started on something, I will for sure give you my candid thoughts and frame of mind on it. I don't have time or space anymore in my life for the load of BS that people are expecting us to continue to swallow, right? Yeah. Being in the nonprofit sector for over 20 years, between being a volunteer and then working in it as well, the number of hurdles and hoops to go through to get a grant, for instance, right? Mm-hmm. And the discriminatory process around all of that, because what is needed, what is expected of you to do to complete it, means that the vast majority of organizations don't even try because they don't have the staff, they don't have the time, they don't have the resources. It's too, they don't understand what's being asked of them. So I call bullshit on that whole process and the fact that any of that is needed, right? I get that we need regulations, but we don't need to make it so onerous that good work can't be done.
Exactly. I love that. I love that, man. There's just so many nuggets. Bullshit. We need a bullshit button. Oh, hold on a minute.
So my father-in-law used to have a bullshit stamp, like a red stamp. Oh my God, that's awesome.
It's a screaming goat. Now it needs to say bullshit.
Oh, I love that. That's perfect. That's perfect.
We need the stamp. This is bullshit. Yes.
Yes. Yeah. Yeah. I don't know whatever happened to it. My husband might have it somewhere, but yeah, it's the bullshit stamp.
Love it. This is so awesome. We're all going to go out and buy a bullshit stamp and we're going to call each other on our bullshit.
That's right. Yeah. Candidly and with love, right? It's we don't have to be assholes about it. That's the other thing. We don't have to be cruel about it, but we can say, bullshit.
Yep. Exactly.
What other options do you have available? Because that, my friend, is bullshit. That's not rude. I mean, a little. Okay, maybe it is.
It's not rude. It's not rude. Unless you're really in their face. And it's, right. I think presentation is half the thing. And if we can keep our tone, because I've been reading people's tones, even though I don't know, I have another coach that says, well, don't just take people at their face value. Don't look at their tone and their rolling their eyes. And I'm like, seriously? Because if someone's rolling their eyes at me, I know that what they're saying isn't true.
Yeah.
I call bullshit on that.
Yeah.
But anyways, that's just a whole other, that's a side note. Anyways, we'll get off that track.
Let's get off the bullshit for now.
We'll get off the bullshit for now. So what 3 things would you say that you had to overcome to get to where you're at right now in your business and everything like that?
So of course, the first thing that comes into mind is my own bullshit. So the 3 things that I had to get over to get here, quite frankly, it really was my own BS was the first one, right? I needed to stop buying the narrative that things had to look, feel, and act a certain way, right? To be successful, to do good work. I also needed to was it to overcome?
Yeah, to overcome.
Okay.
Yeah.
I needed to overcome fear, a deep fear that I was not worthy or good enough. Right? That was super big. And I needed to get over, I think it all ties together because I also needed to get over this idea that I didn't know what I was doing. Yeah.
And you know what? You're in number 25 and the episode, and I think everybody has said they had to get over their own bullshit. Yeah. So I mean, and it's funny because I asked that. We had a special guest on our Monday night show who is a power coach to Xander Holyfield, and I had a little bit, like I had a 5-second window to ask him before the show come on. And, one great question. And I said, what did you overcome to get to being the powerful coach that you are? And his answer was his own bullshit. So, I mean, that is powerful. Yeah. I just want to say, hey, Tim, you missed the Screaming Goat. The Screaming Goat made an appearance on the show tonight and you missed it. You were a little bit late for that. He gave me the Screaming Goat.
So. Oh, well, Tim, where were you?
I know. Well, okay, just for Tim.
I was going to say, Tim's here.
We'll put it out, the Screaming Goat. So the whole Screaming Goat thing was because we did a 24-hour fundraiser for money, to raise money for Leukemia and Lymphoma Society. Mm-hmm. And we were like, why are we doing, what did we do this for? And then, that wasn't crazy enough. We decided to do another 12-hour one to raise more money. And we ended up, we were over $15,000 in those 2 things that we did do. So, I mean, yeah, we may be crazy, but we get shit done.
You get shit done and you have a Screaming Goat to keep you company. So
that's right. Oh my God. So what 3 things do you help your clients overcome?
Their own bullshit, for sure. That's like the number 1 thing, right? It is, they show up with all the stories. So I help them first get rid of the stories. I help them create some awareness around where they are, where they're going, and then begin to start to find a vision, because very often the vision that they come with is not their true vision. It's a vision that they think they should have, right? So it's moving aside all of the shoulds. And they also get over thinking they have to do it by themselves. We work a lot on community, conscious connections, empowering others, moving into your zone of genius so that others can be in theirs. Which is really important. And especially most of my clients are female entrepreneurs or female conscious leaders. And we have a tendency to talk a good game about collaboration, but we don't always know how to do it real well. And delegation is like, we, again, think we know what we're doing, and it's really, really hard for us to do it.
Damn, you just called me on all my bullshit.
Yay!
Because, I'm a team of 1. Mm-hmm. And that doesn't mean that I don't have like mentors or go-to people. But yeah, I've been putting it out there for the last 2 weeks that I need an intern because I really need to get some of that shit off my plate, so that I can be more effective for my people, and my clients and things like that, so that I can make them shine properly and get you, where you're supposed to be. So
So what I would ask you about
yeah.
that is why don't you have an intern yet then?
Well, I put the word out and I was waiting, and so yeah, I got to contact the schools. That's the next step. I did contact, but I haven't had a chance to follow up. So yeah.
So where's that priority and where are those boundaries?
Yeah, well, I've been working for the charity.
Again, where are those boundaries?
And it's funny because I had ratted myself out before the show, and I had said I've been focusing on, it was not necessarily the wrong thing, but it was still doing good, but not to what I'm out to create. Well, it is, but you know what I mean. Anyways, so
It's where that it gets blurry, right? It's like
yeah,
I'm doing good work and
yeah,
I'm also right. It's like it's all your different hats and they're all good and they're all meaningful. So how do you create one, the priorities, and two, the boundaries?
right,
So that's a lot of right. That's a lot of the work that needs to be done because I'm going to guess there's some guilt of if I don't do this work for the charity, if I don't help in this way, who else is going to do it? How else is it going to get done? Needs to be done. Maybe
yeah,
a
kind
little.
of, maybe, uh, yeah. Well, and I'm a doer. I'm one of
But
those
well,
female entrepreneurs that see something in front of them. You give me an assignment and I'm on it, and then I have a tendency, like, and then everything else scoops up behind, and then by you know I'm not making excuses. I'm just knowing, I know after last weekend that I needed to shift the
yeah,
priorities. So this
yeah.
week is all about shifting the priority. And I promise you that there will be an intern in here by the end of the month.
All right.
By the end of the month.
All right. It's
I've
only 2 weeks
asked.
away.
I've asked. I even asked my nephew out in Illinois. I'm like, hey, you want to learn the ropes? And I got silent. So
Well, I mean, here we are live. Who has a great intern? Right?
right. Who wants to learn production? And who wants to learn how to promote people? And who wants to learn that stuff?
I mean, I would think that there'd be a lot of people chomping at the bit for that, but
Yeah, I don't know. We'll see. I did a poll on LinkedIn. LinkedIn poll just closed, so I got to go check who my people are that said
okay,
that
good.
they wanted to. So,
Right.
I gotta do all that too. But anyways, enough about me, because this is actually you in action as what you do with a client. So I'm kind of just letting the people know exactly how you operate. So it's kind of, I guess it's a winning situation for you, right?
There we go. And how I operate for sure is I am I've been described as a walking human hug. So like I hold all the love and all the space. I am strategic and pragmatic. So like we're gonna get to the nitty gritty, and I have a whole lot of woo. So like I want to talk about universal energy with you. I want to talk about like what's your human design and what's coming up for you. Like I want to get in there and talk about all those facets.
Right.
And it does make me a bit of a unicorn to be able to deliver all of that in a meaningful way. But I feel like it's this really cool, maybe Prada toolbox that that feels like it kind of can open up with all sorts of glitter and sparkle, and then let's get down to business, right? So it's all of the above.
Love that. Love that. We have our guests here. Good.
Oh,
Stumble onto.
wonderful.
Oh, well, good. Thanks for stumbling. Thank you for stumbling and joining us. Yes. And don't forget to check out Kim here, because you are like the master at what you're doing here. I can already tell just by being on the spotlight myself. We're calling each other out on our bullshit, and we're calling, if you're just joining us, we're calling out the businesses that doing one thing, saying one thing and doing another. So, and on our Kim's new business card is going to be bullshit to the real thing.
Mm-hmm.
I love that.
Yep.
I love
We're
that.
going to shift the bullshit to the real stuff. Yep.
Yes. Shift. Do the dynamite shift. Love it. I love what you said. Magical unicorn. We never used to talk about that stuff. And now all of a sudden, all you hear is about magical unicorns.
Mm-hmm.
And, people such as yourself that, we have these toolbox. I remember back, my dad always had a saying called jack of all trades, master of none.
Yep.
But, so it reminds me of, we all have these toolboxes, and what do we bring to the table? What do we take out of our toolbox to help our clients?
Mm-hmm.
And so that's what I think of when you say that. And so you got a big toolbox there. To help the client. So for those people that are listening or that's going to catch the replay later, who would you say is your ideal client?
So my ideal client, and again, I love working with individuals and I love working with organizations, but this is like my super sweet spot are people who would bill themselves as social entrepreneurs or social entrepreneur wannabes. So somebody who likely already is an entrepreneur who has already built a successful business, who is now wanting to create social change, social justice, social impact through their work, through their business. They may have thought, I want to open a nonprofit, I want to start a foundation, maybe I do something and augment my current business, whatever that is, having that ability to work with them. I really love working with them from the very beginning where they start to get the idea and then let's figure out what is the right format for you to do this in and who are the right people that need to be at the table. Because so often what happens is we get these great ideas, we go, we're doers, we go forward with this and we don't have the right people around the table. The people whose lives that we want to touch aren't at the table. So making sure they're at the table and part of the conversations, making sure whatever board, advisory board, or working board that you have, that you're building that with people that are experts, that you're not just building that with your lovely, wonderful friends and family that mean well, but are not actually going to help you move it forward, and then start to really build that out for sustainability. So that's who I love working with. Although, like I said, I also have a bunch of people who, through the great resignation and the great shift and all of that's happening on out there, people are looking to do more meaningful work. So I have a number of clients that do that. And I have a number of existing nonprofit organizations that I help them with in numerous ways.
Love that. Wow. Love all of that. So yes, if you are one of those startups that like, I have this great idea, but I don't know how to get it out there, Kim is your woman, the magical unicorn with the Prada box, and is going to take your bullshit and get it into real life form.
So we can do some epic shit.
I love that. See, that's just so amazing. I'm glad you showed me that at the beginning before we jumped on. You're gonna have to like hang it above behind you so that the world can see that.
I have to find the right space for it, but yeah, it's going back there. So not only am I reminded to do epic shit, but whoever I'm online with is going to be reminded as well that they too can do epic shit.
That's right. That's what we're put here for, to do epic shit.
That's right.
We're not here to just sit around and play it small anymore, people. We're calling you out on your bullshit.
Calling you out on your bullshit. And we're not here to do it the way that everybody else has always said we have to do it. Yes. Right? These are our lives. These are our organizations. And we, by the way, get to make choices, even though there's a whole lot of people and other organizations that will tell us that we can't. I call bullshit on that.
We need that bullshit stamp.
Do need that bullshit stamp.
I need that bullshit stamp. Oh, with that, I can't believe we spent a half hour already here.
I know.
I just want to thank our amazing guests in the comments. And for those of you that are on, going to catch it up on the replay, I know some people are coming home from work and on the drive by, but don't forget, we do have it on podcast form, which will be uploaded by Saturday on our station. So definitely, if you're those type of people that just like audio only, we do have that for you too. Or catch us on the YouTube channel, Unstoppable Overcomers. And with that, Kim, any final words for our viewing audience today?
Be unstoppable. Just be unstoppable and do good stuff. What did I say this morning? I told it to you already. Create abundant good abundantly. There we go. Create abundant good abundantly.
I've got nothing to say other than that. So with that, like Kim said, live unstoppably. We'll see you next time. Next week, same time, same channel. Bye for now.